Hey, everybody. Harlan Kilstein here, and I want to introduce you to a very, very highly respected friend of mine. His name is Doug O'Brien, and I have known Doug for nearly 25 years and have been working with him for a great deal of that time. He is what we call the coach's coach, and he has been working with people for a very long time in all kinds of different settings. As a matter of fact, he did some significant work at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York, which is considered one of the finest hospitals of the world. Can you tell us something about what you did there?
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I did. I didn't know we were going there, but I'll tell you what I did there
I
was
figured you could handle that change of direction.
I did what was basically known as pre-surgical hypnosis. I was a hypnotherapist in the cardiothoracic department under a fellow named Oz, Dr. Oz. Very fine surgeon, just by the way. Whatever you might think of him as a politician, he was a very fine surgeon back in the day. And he started this what was called at first the Complementary Care Center, then it was Complementary Department, and then it was finally the Department of Integrative Medicine, which I believe still exists there. This was a while ago. But yeah, my job was basically to do pre-surgical hypnosis for the patients who were going in for heart surgery, whether it was heart replacement surgery or coronary bypass or something like that, valve replacement.
Now, over the years, after you left Columbia Presbyterian and you went into private practice, you have seen clients who wanted to accomplish what? Give me a survey of what your clients have tried to accomplish or wanted to accomplish.
To be fair, I've had a private practice since before and during and after Columbia Presbyterian. Um, but I've worked with, oh my goodness, the gamut. I have worked with the gamut of people. From people, people go to hypnotists for a variety of reasons, but typically or traditionally, it's for weight loss or smoking cessation. So I have done hundreds, if you count the seminars, thousands of people for those particular things. But, literally, you name it, I've worked with it. One of the things that I think I did a lot, and especially in the early days, is I was a master trainer for Tony Robbins for the Robbins Research Institute. And what happened is a lot of times people would go to his seminars and they'd be, massively enthused and, filled with vim and vigor and hugs every day during the seminars and lots of energy. And then they'd come back home, wherever home was for them, and they would be lacking all of that, extrinsic support kind of thing. And they'd be like, I don't know what to do. So they'd call up Robbins Research and say, yeah, I need to make a private session with Tony. And they'd go like, well, he doesn't do that unless you have millions and millions of dollars that you want to spend, which people didn't. So they'd say, but we have this guy we can refer you to, master trainer. So I'd get these people from Tony Robbins' organization. And and that's part of why I developed this program that I'm going to be doing shortly is that, people aim for the stars and then they fall flat and say, "Oh, I'm not good at this. I can't do it. It's not me. I wasn't cut out for this. I don't know what's wrong with me." So I would show them that it wasn't always. I mean, that works sometimes to take massive action. It's great for a fire walk, 15 feet, but it's not necessarily good for life. Life is more of a marathon than it is a sprint. So I'd show them how they did consistent actions over time, develop the skills and the identity of being that doer that would get them finally to where they want to go.
Okay. Well, um, over the years, you have come up with a rather unique format that I have shared and always told people that it's from you. And it's called the E.A.S.E technique. Can you explain exactly what the E.A.S.E technique or what is the E.A.S.E technique? What's it about?
Yeah, I can definitely explain it. It's basically it's a four-tier level of goal setting. And like I said, a lot of times people would say, I'm going to do this, and they'd shoot for the stars. They'd have this extraordinary goal and say, I'm going to work out for 2 hours every day.
I see that every single day.
Yeah, right. And then they would fail and quit. A lot of times. I mean, not everybody, but frequently. people that came to my door, that was their story. Um, so what I said is, listen, you don't have to do the extraordinary. Do something every day. If it's not that extraordinary one, do something that's going to be a stretch for you. If it's not going to be a stretch for you, do something that's acceptable. You'd accept this. If I do this every day, it's going to get me to where I want to go. Maybe a longer road, but it still will get me there. It's an acceptable amount. So, just extraordinary, a stretch, or acceptable. But even if you can't do that acceptable amount, do something small, something easy, just to sort of get you going, to say, I did it. So part of your brain says, yeah, I'm a gym goer. Or part of your brain says, yeah, I'm a writer. Or part of your brain says, yeah, I'm a piano player. Whatever it might be, you do it every day because that's who you are. So it creates a whole new, understanding of your identity. So it's called the E.A.S.E session because the extraordinary is the final E. The other letters are an acronym for easy, acceptable, stretch, or extraordinary. The
Now,
idea,
most people, if left to their own devices, would start at extraordinary and then give up from extraordinary, feel guilty about themselves,
right,
and then, as they say in the weight loss world, fall off the wagon for an extended period of time.
right, until next year, January 1st, to make some new resolutions, and here we go again.
And we see that at every single gym in the world that January 1st or 2nd, the gym and the cardio machines and everything is packed, and you have to wait for a machine. And then a week later, okay, it's not as bad. But by the end of January, they're gone.
Yeah,
They couldn't sustain the I'm going to go work out for an hour a day or 2 hours a day, and I'm going to do it every day, and I'm going to be in perfect shape by February 1st.
right.
They don't have realistic expectations, and then they are right back where they started. So, how does the E.A.S.E technique take people from I want that goal when they're starting at maybe in their mind extraordinary, but practically not very extraordinary?
Yeah. Well, generally speaking, when I was working with a private client, I would explain everything you just said. And of course, everyone knows this. This is not a news flash. Everyone in the world knows that that is exactly the pattern that happens, and it has happened for most people regularly every year. It's like they do the same thing. So I explained about the need for habit formation, and that the idea between, well, there's different theories. 21 days in a row, from Maxwell Maltz's cybernetics became a popular notion that if you do something 21 days in a row, it becomes ingrained in you as a habit. Other people say it's 36 days in a row or 48 days. There's different numbers. They actually did a study about this. Group in England did a study about this, actual scientific study, and it ends up being something more like 146 days in a row on average. Some people are faster, some people are slower, but on average it takes a while. But the commonality is it's something every day. That you do it
Okay.
every day, your brain gets that, oh, this is who I am, this is what I do. So we want repeated actions over time. Aristotle once said that we are what we repeatedly do. He said, excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. So we
So
want to
if
do
someone
the,
is doing the wrong thing repeatedly,
well, then the same thing happens. It's just a new habit is formed that isn't that good.
okay, so can ingrained habits be changed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. No doubt about it. And one of the best ways to do it is just to simply focus on the habit that you do want and start doing that. So as an example, I had a client once who said that he wanted to go to the gym for 2 hours a day. That was his goal. He was going to get in, peak physical condition. And, Tony Robbins, yes, I'm going to do it. He had this really extreme goal. I said, great, great, great. Let's put that as your extraordinary goal. If you do that every day, it'd be awesome. And there will be days, because life happens, stuff gets in your way. You can't do 2 hours. But let's say 1 hour would be a great thing. If you did an hour every day, you'd still get, there. It might take a little longer, but you do it every day. So that'll be your stretch goal. And then your acceptable goal would be like a half an hour a day. But I said to him, listen, if you can't do a half an hour a day, just get to the gym. Go to the gym and walk in the front door and say hello to the guy at the front desk and say, hey, I'm really busy today, but I just wanted to say hi, I'll see you tomorrow. You know, go to the gym. But what happens is it's the Newton's law of physics, Newton's first law. So a body at rest tends to stay at rest. That is the law. That's the law. It's written. That's the law of physics. A body at rest tends to stay at rest unless acted upon by some outside force. Law number two, or maybe it's 1B, is a body in motion tends to stay in motion. So we want to get the ball rolling. We got to get the wheels in motion. So we say, get to the gym. Say aloud to lower the guy at the front door. Most people will not stop there. Once they've gotten to the gym, it's like, well, I'm here. Might as well do 10 minutes of cardio on the rowing machine or something like that. So they'll go past the easy level and start doing that acceptable level. And then very often when the ball's rolling, once they're doing that acceptable level and it becomes a habit of doing one or the other, it's not far from the acceptable level to the stretch level. It's just another step. So people start getting into the motion of doing things. It becomes intrinsically rewarding because it feels good to be doing these things. It's satisfying. It feels something is satisfied inside your brain and inside your body. You get the right endorphins going. It's satisfying. You get the dopamine rush. It's like, I did it. It becomes a habit. It becomes a habit over time.
Now, you have a program coming up where you're teaching the E.A.S.E technique. Tell us what the program's about.
Well, yeah, I'm teaching it, but in practice. It is a 90-day group coaching program. My coaching programs are personalized for people, but I decided this year I would create one for a group. Not everybody feels like they can afford, individual coaching, or they have, I don't know, whatever reason they don't do it. I think everybody should have a coach personally, but it's just me. But group coaching is as almost as effective, sometimes even more effective, because you get the kind of group enthusiasm going, and everybody's supporting each other and everybody's on the same page, and you hear the success stories, or the challenges. So it's a 90-day group coaching process that we will meet once a week on Zoom. Everybody will be there. I will teach certain things about it. We'll hear stories. We'll share stuff. I'll teach certain things, but it's not a class per se. I'm not teaching E.A.S.E. We're putting it into action. We're putting into action. Everybody will set their goals and they will work towards them and have the group support to achieve them.
And what are your expectations that people at the end of the 90-day program, what are your expectations for people who have joined the program? How will their life be different?
Well, if they continue with this program with the ease of the easy, accessible, acceptable, stretch, or extraordinary, if they do that every day for 90 days, they're going to have some serious new habits built into their bodies. They will understand how the system works. They can apply it to other things. It's not just physical stuff, but they'll have that built into their bodies, that they're doing these new habits, whether it's going to the gym or running or walking or yoga or whatever it might be. They do something that they're going to have a whole new system. Plus, they're going to be applying it to their dietary needs and applying it to their sleeping habits. So they should have at least 3 pillars of good health set in stone a bit more than they have had before. And so they're going to lose weight, they're going to get strength, they're going to get rest, they're going to feel better. It's going to be pretty wonderful.
Okay, what about if it's someone who is using this for, let's say, business purposes? They haven't been posting to their blog as often as they should,
Right. No, it's
or
exactly the same process. Yeah, go ahead.
or they're not closing
Right.
sales and they want to improve on that, or very simply, the way they deal with other people. How can E.A.S.E help them?
Yeah. Well, again, it is the same exact process, just applied to a different arena, which is one of the advantages of this thing. One of the reasons I'm doing it for health, I could do it for business. I could teach E.A.S.E for business, and I, in a sense, am. But the reason we're doing this is that you're going to get measurable results. People will see and feel in their bodies how this actually works, and then they can apply it to whatever else they want to, like business. In the sense of business, as an example, it's often a numbers game. I have a Tony Robbins used to say that when he learned that it took a thousand, 100 no's to get to a single yes, he goes, like, great, I just have to get out there and ask for people to do it. And the more no's I get, the closer I am to the yes. So, it's a numbers game. You got to make those cold calls. So you say, I'm going to make 100 cold calls a day, or I'm going to make 75 cold calls a day, or I'm going to make 50 cold calls a day, or I'm going to do 25 cold calls a day. Whatever it is for you, people's numbers will be different. There's no set number thing that works, right? So for one person, it might be 10 cold calls a day would be extraordinary. 5 cold calls would be acceptable. It's that kind of thing. People are different. So we have to measure it for each other where you're starting from.
When does the program start?
Very soon. It's January.
Like now? I mean,
Well, yeah, for you, it's starting right now. Get on the, give me 20. It's, no, it's Wednesday. What is it? The 9th of January? No, so 19th,
well, today is the
15,
14th.
15, 16, 17, 17, January 17th.
January 17th.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
look at our Big Chief calendar here. The 17th is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. And when does it take place? What time?
It'll be at 1 o'clock until 2 o'clock on Wednesday afternoons, Eastern time.
Okay. And if somebody misses the call, can I assume that they can get the replay?
Yeah, well, again, it's not so much about me teaching material. I mean, yes, the answer is yes, it will be recorded, but it is not so much about teaching the material. Yes, it will be recorded. People can do it, and it's going to be convenient for some people in different time zones. I understand that. And what this really is about, it's a coaching process. So although it is group coaching, we want to get that interaction and the energy going of like hearing your story, of hear what's going on, having that interaction. So it's a live call, not necessarily a class per se. Then there will be things that I'll be sending out, or we're going to be doing, people who want to will have access to hypnosis recordings for weight loss and, staying on the program. There'll be other, support factors as well. I'll be sending out daily emails of, little tidbits, little tips to keep on the track and that sort of thing. So there's going to be a lot of support going on.
And what is the cost of joining the 90-day coaching program?
Well, thank you for asking that question. The difference between group coaching and personalized coaching, I used to talk to people and say, how much is your coaching? I said, well, you'd be glad to know it's nothing like Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins charges $1 million for a year and you'd get him, blah, 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 which was true at that time. He was charging $1 million for a year of coaching, which is a pretty expensive ticket as far as I'm concerned. And people were paying it. People were buying it. So I'd start off by saying, you'd be glad to know it's nothing compared to that. It's only $1,000 a month. So by comparison, it seems a lot less. That's private coaching. So this is basically less than 1 month of coaching for 3 months. So it's $897 for the entire program for all 3 months of that program.
That's a pretty amazing deal and a life-changing deal.
It really
So
is.
take it from someone who has known Doug for a quarter of a century, worked with him for nearly that long. This is a rare opportunity to work with Doug. And I'm going to advise my highest recommendation. If you think that there's room in your life for improvement, join Doug in the E.A.S E program. It's real. It works. Just do it.
Thank you, Harlan. I appreciate that. Coming from you, that means a lot, really.
Okay.